I think we win the award for most variety in the same concert. You heard that, yeah, and I think this applaud the variety, yes. So the second half, we've been exploring works that relate to literature, poetry, and drama. You heard Candide, which is from Voltaire. You heard As One Listens to the Rain, based on the poetry of Octavio Paz. Then we heard that beautiful, Liana sing the beautiful words of Carl Sandburg. Then the last piece, a little comic relief, some Huckleberry Finn, played by Claire as Huck. And then our last piece is going to be featuring the words of Herman Melville and his great masterpiece. Before we play our last piece, though, I do want to recognize a special group of people on stage who are playing their last concert in the Symphony Band and going to be graduating and moving on to something new in their lives. So I'm going to call their name and ask them to stand. If you could please hold your applause to the end, and then we'll give them a real rousing applause, a round of rousing applause at the end. In the flute section, we have Jillian Damaris. In the oboe English horn section, we have Kathleen Sharp. In the trumpet section, Emmett Dooley. In the trombone section, Michael Clark. And behind me, who has conducted his last concert, our graduate student, James Shetler. Can we give them all a round of applause? I want to thank them publicly and very loudly for your dedication and for your leadership. I sincerely appreciate it. Please come back and visit us. Our last piece is once again the music of based on the writing of Herman Melville, and it's a real tour de force. Thank you for celebrating live music. Thank you for celebrating the accomplishments of this ensemble behind me. They are a fantastic group of musicians, and maybe even more importantly, just a fantastic group of people. So thank you for joining us tonight and sharing this special concert. Hope you enjoy Of Sailors and Widows.
Call me Ishmael. I go to sea as a simple sailor, right before the mast, plumb down into the forecastle, aloft there to the royal masthead. I am tormented with an everlasting itch for things remote. I love to sail forbidden seas and land on barbarous coasts. For these reasons, the whaling voyage was welcome. The great floodgates of the wonder world swung Queequeg's father was a high chief, a king, his uncle a high priest. There was excellent blood in his veins, royal stuff. It was quite plain that he must be some abominable savage, but Queequeg was a creature in the transitory state, neither caterpillar nor butterfly. Savage though he was, and hideously marred about the face, his countenance yet had something in it. Through all his unearthly tattooings, and in his large, deep eyes, fiery, black, and bold, there seemed tokens of a spirit that would dare 1,000 devils. There was a low rumbling of heavy sea boots among the benches, and all was quiet again, and every eye was on the preacher. Father Mapple rose, and in prolonged, solemn tones, like the continued tolling of a bell in a ship that is foundering at sea in a fog, in such tones he commenced reading the following hymn. As I leveled my glance toward the taffrail, foreboding shivers ran over me. Captain Ahab stood on his quarterdeck. So powerfully did the whole grim aspect of Ahab affect me that for the first few moments I hardly noted the barbaric white leg upon which he partly stood. Bedraggled with trailing ropes and harpoons and lances, Moby Dick seemed possessed by all the angels that fell from heaven. Retribution, swift vengeance, eternal malice were in his whole aspect. The birds, they mark the spot. The whale, upheld, upheld. Oh, all ye sweet powers of air, he turns to meet us. My God, stand by me now.